excitement level? Because you haven't had that this year. You haven't had that moment. Is that the part that excites you the most about what's going to happen Saturday?
I think the biggest thing that excites me about this game is just I know it'll be another test for us to kind of see where we are as a team and to see how the preparation that we've put into this game uh, comes out in the end. We always know playing Penn State is going to be a rough game, whether it's on the road or at home. They always play us tough. We always go a full 4 quarters with them. So I think the biggest excitement is just to see how well we respond to this test.
Front row right, Austin from Letterman Row.
Levy, when you guys face mobile quarterbacks, how important are the defensive tackles in containing him, making sure that that pocket is collapsing, and then there's not an escape hatch?
It's very important because one thing about playing defense, the one thing that you don't want to allow to happen is you allow a quarterback to beat you with his feet. If he could beat you with his feet on the ground, it's kind of tough as a defense to be efficient. So it is a lot of stress on us within the interior this week because their interior three they're also elite. So our nose guards and three techs this week are going to be tested heavily. Their center and guards are tough, so we have to bring our A game and bring our toughness, and it's going to be a true challenge.
You guys have seen some of that throughout the course of the season. How well have you handled those mobile quarterbacks in your mind?
I feel like we've done pretty good. We could do a lot better, but there's always room for improvement. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about our defense this year is even with us putting on good performances week in and week out, they're not elite performances. There's still so much that we need to work on, that we need to correct. And when we come back to the drawing board, it's on the outside looking in, it looks good, but on the inside looking at it, it's like, oh my God, we look awful. So, it's still a lot of things that we need to work on and correct. And we got to be disciplined with a lot of things. So, that's why what this week is for practice, and we're going to take it one day at a time.
Third row left, Edward from ESPN.
Robert, what has Chase's demeanor been like the last couple of weeks when he wasn't able to fully practice and obviously not play?
Chase has still been Chase. One thing about Chase, outside of him being a phenomenal football player, but he's a phenomenal teammate and leader. And I think that's one of the biggest things for him, that there was no drop-off within those aspects of who he is and his character. Even in practice from the sidelines, he's coaching guys up. He's telling them, hey, work on this, work on that. I saw this, especially with the young DNs that we have who had to play in those games when he was absent. So as far as how Chase has, handled that situation, he handled it beautifully. So I'm proud of him and glad we got him back.
What did you and some of your teammates do to make sure that he didn't hang his head?
Honestly, it wasn't anything that we did any differently. At the end of the day, in our room, we're brothers. We love each other. We support each other no matter what happens, win, lose, or draw. We always going to be in each other's corner. So I don't feel like the environment or how we did things with him changed. It was still the same. We just still brothers, still clown around, still talk crap every now and then, still have fun, still went out to eat. So the dynamics of our room didn't change because of the situation. It's just, if anything, we got closer together.
Front row left, Nathan from Cleveland.com.
What did you learn about the rest of this defense playing without Chase the last 2 weeks?
I say a lot of guys stepped up to the plate. Everybody's level of play had to rise. From the secondary all the way down to the D-line, everybody had to step up. Everybody had to give a little bit extra within themselves. And I felt like as a unit and as a defense, everybody did that. So, I'm proud of how we handled it, the direction that we're going, but, we still got a lot of work to do.
As you said, the last couple Penn State games have been, gone in the fourth quarter. Why are you confident that this team, which hasn't been pushed in the fourth, your team hasn't been pushed in the fourth quarter yet, why are you confident you guys will be able to succeed if you are eventually pushed there?
One thing Coach Day talks about a lot is that when talent equates, you got to revert back to your training that we've done since winter workout, since last season ended. And I feel like guys have worked so hard on trying to perfect the little elements of our craft, and we've pushed so hard to be fundamentally sound every single rep, and we try to make practice as hard as possible to where we're able to simulate the fourth quarter the best that we can within practice to see how guys are going to respond then.
Front row middle, Joey from the Dispatch.
you're around Chase pretty frequently. Is he really excited to come back? He seems like he's always kind of excited in general, people say, but it seems like after missing 2 games and then a bye week, he would be really kind of amped to return.
Yeah, he's definitely excited to be back on the field with the boys, and I think Chase is focused and he's ready for this week, and right now it's just getting back into the groove, and I think it will be good.
Right next door, Bill.
Yeah, I'm curious by something you said. You said from the outside world thinks we're playing great. From the inside, it looks like we're awful. Why do you say that? Can you give examples of things that you on the inside see that the rest of us don't?
It's just a lot of little things like guys out of gaps, not running specific defenses that we're supposed to run, having MAs on certain plays, not running the plays correctly because they missed a call, or maybe a blown coverage that, the God-given ability that we have maybe allowed them to kind of recover and not look as bad as it could have been. It's just a lot of the little things and some of the basics that we worked on for so long and that we preach within every room and within our defense that guys have just been messing up on, and it's a lot of things that we kind of just skate by with. And like I said, that's a kudos to the coaching staff, because every little thing that we do wrong, they don't let it ride. You know what I mean? And as players, we don't let it ride either. It's one of those things where those little things over the course of time will add up. You know what I mean? And it'll catch us in the long run.
You're beaten by teams by an average of more than 40 points. You're playing a team that can make you pay for those kind of mistakes finally. How much are you looking forward to that challenge? Like, okay, if we are making the mistakes that I know we're making, we're going to get burned, and therefore I want to see what we're going to do when we're pushed to that standard.
I'm excited to see, how this week's game plays out and how it goes. Like I said, it's one of those opponents where talent is equated. So it's going to be a lot of emphasis this week on the fundamentals, the basics, our technique. And mentally, guys just got to be ready for this game. It's a lot of guys that are going to have to play in this game that has not experienced the atmosphere that we're about to be in on Saturday. And it'll be interesting to see how they respond to it.
Third row left. Dan from 11 Warriors.
Robert, with Chase missing a couple games and Jonathan Cooper's missed some time this year, how important do you feel like you and Devon and Jayshon as fifth-year seniors were to making sure the defensive line and this defense stayed on track?
I feel like it was extremely important just because we are 3 guys that have been here 5 years, which is outrageous. I feel every last year. But, we've been there. We've been around the block a few times. We've been in those 4-quarter games. We've been in those overtime games. We know what it's supposed to look like, what it's supposed to feel like. And we've had to handle adversity over the course of our 5 years here, individually and together. So that was one of those moments where our room was tested. We had some adversity with, losing guys. And, at the end of the day, one thing Coach Johnson preaches a lot is next man up. And it's our job to make sure that message and that standard is relayed throughout the whole room. And I felt like we did a phenomenal job at that. And I feel like the way that we've been playing with the adverse moments that we've had to face within those two, us not having those 2 guys, I feel like we've responded well.
You talk about being here for 5 years. What are the emotions like thinking about Saturday being your last game in the shoe?
Honestly, it hasn't even hit me yet. I honestly don't think it might hit me until after the game, just because right now it's just all eyes, all focus, all energy on playing Penn State, not so much as this is my last go-around in the shoe. So I think once the game is over with and the clock hits 0-0 to set in.
Far left. Marcus from Daily News.
When you play a team that is probably going to have more designed runs for the quarterback, he's kind of baked into the running game. Does that change much for you, or are you sort of having the same assignments anyway, just as far as basically how the defense comes together?
It doesn't so much as change a lot. I feel like Coach Johnson's put together a great game plan going into this game to play against them, but at the end of the day, within us on the inside, it's going to be, the front 3 or the interior 3 against the nose guard and the 3-tech. And I think the biggest thing is we have to own our gaps. If we own our gaps and we are gapped out like we're supposed to be and play our game, I feel like it'll handle a lot of the QB runs that they have designed. And, more than likely they might come with something within the game that we haven't seen yet on film. So it's one of those things where we just got to be prepared for everything as best as we can and have to make the proper in-game adjustments.
BB, like you said, you've been here for a long time. And every year you've been here, this team has been in mid-November playing for something pretty big. How does the pressure, I guess, manifest itself at this time of the year for you players, knowing what's on the line from one weekend to the next?
I think the biggest thing for us is we just try not to look ahead. I think if, November is, time for championships, but if you look too far to the championship, you might not get there because you still got a back end of the season that you got to finish. So I think for us, the biggest thing right now is we're planning for something in the back of our minds, and more so just focus on taking it day by day, week by week, game by game. Because if you don't take care of business week to week, then you won't reach the goal that you have set. If you don't take care of business throughout the week in practice, you won't reach the goal that you have set within winning that game that coming Saturday. So I think it's just one of those things where we just trying to hone in on the little things in each day and each rep before we even worry about 2-3 weeks from now.
But do you wake up in the middle of the night thinking about things? Is it tough to go to sleep on weeks like this? I mean, how does it actually affect you?
Me personally, I wake up in the middle of the night because the baby's waking me up. But outside of that, not really, just because I think just me being here so long, I know what this game means. I know what this month means, and I know what it's supposed to look like. And I know if you look too far ahead, the outcome won't be what you want it to be.
That's quickie. You guys are going to study them enough to know what their tendencies are, what they like to do up front to you guys. They've studied you guys. Are you more curious on how they're going to try to take care of what you guys like to do defensively up front, or are you more curious on how they're going to react to what you guys are doing? If you follow my drift, I mean, it's
Yeah, I think I'm more curious to see how they scheme us, because that's another test for us. Because now, as a player, if you can't make the proper in-game adjustments and be able to formally and properly communicate to coach, hey, I'm getting this, or I see this, I see that, then it's going to be hard as a team to make the proper adjustments that we need. So I'm interested to see what they do, if they change their tendencies, if they stick to their tendencies. So it's going to be interesting.
And final question, second row left, Bill from The Athletic.
BB, a couple of years ago, I think it might have been in the spring, Coach Meyer stood where you're standing and labeled the 2015 recruiting class a misfit class at the time. I think there are maybe 10 of you guys still left. Just what's the journey been like with that group, from, I guess, being misfits to now being, fifth-year seniors and a team that has a lot on the table and you all seem to be playing well?
It's been a unique journey to play it down a little bit. It's been fun. It's been interesting. I feel like as a whole within the 2015 class, we really got close through a lot of the trials and tribulations that we had to go through in the off season, is because we kind of put ourselves in some positions that we really didn't want to be in. And that's just, we were young, dumb, and we made some mistakes, and coach made sure he took care of it properly. And I feel like that's one of the things that's made us so close, because we've watched each other develop so much from when we got here as freshmen to where we are now. Just seeing guys that we came in with, some leave and take their talents elsewhere, and then some have the opportunity to play in the league. It's the journey's been a blessing. I wouldn't want to do it with any other group of guys, and the relationship and the bond that we've built here, we'll have it forever.